Hey guys, Weir, roadtoroto.com. I'm coming to you from Northern California. I'm having crazy flashbacks right now of 1991, of the firestorm that hit literally right on our house where we live now. We weren't living here at the time. We were living down the about a quarter mile down the street. And gigantic firestorm in 1991 took out all these buildings. There's a couple pictures of it. And I lived through it. That's what it looked like. That is right where our house is right now, right in this area down here. But it was crazy. I don't know if anybody's ever been in a firestorm. It's hot weather, winds whipping by, and that's happening right now. We got the hot weather, we got extreme fire danger, we got winds whipping and fires breaking out all over. Let me show you a map. Northern California. This is the wine country. These are multi-million dollar properties burning up everywhere from Healdsburg right up there to this right in here is the heart of the Napa Valley, where all those great wines come from. It's like an adult Disneyland, truthfully. I know there'll be people out there saying it's God's will that the sinners that drink wine get burned up. Ridiculous. But the interesting thing I want to say about this, I have a lot of family members right now who are having to evacuate who live up north. It's not really under control yet. I think they will get it under control, but the winds are still whipping. Every once in a while, you'll see the greenhouse flutter, and I'm not even in that area. We're not close to where this fire is, but I want to show you the anomaly that happens. This is from my wind. It's Virtue Sky. A program I've run before. It helps a lot with the hurricanes, but also shows wind speed. And right in here is San Francisco, and I live right in this area right here, Oakland. And if you look, this odd wind, the wind in California comes in from the ocean most of the time. 95% of the time it's coming. The breezes come in from the ocean and then go throughout the United States. Every once in a while we get these reverse winds where the winds will come from land and go out towards the ocean. That's what we're getting right now. As of right now, it's 24 miles an hour blowing, and it's much warmer coming that way too, blowing in, and it speeds up, and then it goes out into the ocean. That's exactly the same formula that was present in 1991 when that fire hit. And I remember that fire so distinctly because a buddy of mine were at this golf tournament they just held, was it yesterday, the same day, and we're at the same golf tournament, and got a call from my mom saying, hey, you better get back to Oakland. This was up in Napa. You better get back to Oakland. The hills are on fire, and we're going to have to evacuate. So I remember that hot wind flowing the other way, and everybody talking about it at the time. And then I got back to Oakland, and for the next 5 days, watched Oakland burn. And this was the aftermath of the Oakland fire. That's San Francisco up here in the background. That's Oakland. This is the Oakland Hills in here, and that's where the fire came. And the total destruction was killed 25 people, 150 injured. Burned 1,520 acres, which might not seem like a gigantic fire, but when it's in the middle of a city, literally, and in forested, the hills area, very populated, it's extremely dangerous. In that area, the fire destroyed 2,843 single-family dwellings and 437 apartment and condominium units. The loss back then in 91 was estimated to be $1.5 billion. Another interesting note is to think about all these natural disasters happening at a time when the United States dollar and the monetary system, everything is kind of teetering. And if you watched my report this morning with Puerto Rico having to pay back $70 billion to the pension funds, they're not gonna be able to do that. They don't have a population who's earning money to pay anything. They're going to need billions to rebuild. You're going to need billions in Texas to rebuild. You're going to need more billions in Florida to rebuild. You're going to need more billions in California now when these fires are done to rebuild. All of it points to a weakening, if not just getting destroyed, U.S. dollar. And I'm no conspiracy buff, but are they all in a coincidence that all this stuff is happening at the exact same time? I don't know. I do know that we've been able to control the weather since I think it was the early 1900s late 1800s that the first weather experiments were done, where they actually did control the weather, and they've been perfecting that for a long, long time. There's actually a movie coming out right now. I think it's called Geostorm. That if you're into the conspiracy stuff, movies oftentimes will foretell certain things that are done to us. Movies or TV shows. Bart Simpson always had the hidden things about 9/11 before it happened, all that kind of stuff. But there's a movie called Geostorm coming out. I think it's out right now, about kind of weather wars gone mad. When you control Mother Nature, does she spring back at some point and say, I think the weather technology is stolen by a rogue element. We do have a lot of rogue elements within our government right now, and they're doing a lot of bad things. So is this a terrorist type of operation? I hesitate to say no, because these fires, and there's 5 of them burning, literally all started about the same time on the same day. On the windiest day from east to west wind, which is a rare wind route traveled in this area, and it's extremely dangerous because it usually, when it happens around this time, September, October timeframe, right after the summer. Everything's very dry. We had a wet winter last year, so there's a lot of dead plants now. They grew up, they get all excited, and a lot of plants grow in the winter, and then they're dead by the end of the summer. The worst time for everything, and you got 5 fires starting at pretty much the exact same time, and the wind is blowing at 24 miles per hour from east to west, an offshore blow, which is a lot warmer than the onshore blow. A lot of things have lined up for these to start all of a sudden, and especially with everything else we're having to deal with, as far as hurricanes, as far as terrorist attacks or false flags, we don't know. I think knowing that the bad guys are on their last legs, knowing that Trump announced that this is the calm before the storm, and if you watched my report this morning, it's also, we're inching up that time once again, where the Kennedy FBI and CIA files are supposed to be released by, I think it's the 20th of October, unless this president says, no, let's keep them hidden. And every president before Trump has said, no, let's keep them hidden. But Trump might say, hey, let's show the people of the world what really happened. And that'll open up Pandora's boxes to what else are they lying about. What other things about 9/11 and all the false flags that have happened, or all the real terrorist attacks. Who's planning them? Who is ISIS really? Who killed Kennedy even to that point? And the involvement of the CIA, if there was involvement. And then you get to, who was the head of the CIA, who was in the CIA at the time, who was later head, who was also president, the Bush family. And is the world ready to open Pandora's box? I guess that's the ultimate in this discussion. Are we ready to face the truth about what happened in the past? And it would change our future. And I think that's a good thing. I think we need to change our future. I think we want to change our future. I think we've been babysat for too long, and it's time for us to grow up and go out on our own. And it will be chaotic, absolutely, especially in Washington, D.C. and throughout the markets. But chaos is cleansing and can be cleansing. And would you rather live in a world that lies to you all the time and everything is calm, cool, and collected? Or would you rather know the truth about what's going on behind the scenes, and a government that no longer lies to a people? I think that is gigantic. And when we find that kind of government, we got to fight for it. But when we get there, and we got to fight to keep it. And that's what our founding fathers wanted us to do. That's what I think we should do today, no matter how much chaos it causes. And remember, if we destroy the unbacked fiat monetary system, all the debt goes away. So you'd have no more debt. And wouldn't that be a good thing as well? That's humanity's big problem right now, is this gigantic debt bubble. There's no bubble in cryptos. There's no bubble in the stock market. There's no bubble in houses. There's no bubble in anything if you take away that gigantic debt bubble. And that gigantic debt bubble is the end of all fiat money, which would be a great thing because it's just debt. And we can start fresh. But definitely chaotic, definitely exciting times coming. This is Big Weir coming to you from the greenhouse, hunkering down. I don't think the fire is going to get anywhere near myself or my family other than the ones that have already bugged out up north. So that's good, but it's still going on. Keep your eye and ears open and watch for more fires being lit somewhere by someone potentially, and hopefully these winds will die down and the firefighters can get a control of what's going on in Northern California right now. It's Big Weir. I'll talk to you later.